G'day guys, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going through my round 20 AFL tips and predictions. So if you do enjoy, please do hit that like and subscribe button. But as always, let's get into the reviews. I don't even know why this keeps happening to me, but I swear I did a tip. I swear my tip saved this week. You can even watch my video. I'm positive that I say my tips. I don't know, maybe I accidentally reloaded my page or something. Here, I tipped the Dogs, I think, to get it done by around 10 points. They actually got it done by 31 in the end. So, yeah, 41 in the end. Pretty much apart from that first quarter, the Dogs just dominated the game there. And then Richmond got it done against Hawthorn in a 1-point victory. I tipped Richmond by about 20, I'm pretty sure. They got it done there. They came back at three-quarter time when Hawthorn pretty much dominating the game. But, yeah, credit to Richmond because they came back. And then Carlton dominated the Eagles throughout the whole game. And I did Carlton by 100 only because I thought the Eagles, they probably wouldn't lose by 100. But they lost to them earlier in the season by 100. And I'm not going off base of that fact also because Carlton have just been thrashing sides. It's always been a 50-point victory for Carlton, and now they're on a 5-game winning streak roll with Collingwood up next, so they might lose that one, but I reckon that will be a pretty good game. But yeah, Carlton just got it done there. Well, not just, they thrashed them. And then we probably weren't expecting how low scoring this game was, but it was Geelong and Brisbane. After the first quarter, I kind of just turned off the telly. I didn't really want to watch the rest of this one. But Brisbane they had like a 20-point margin to 30-point margin for most of that game, but then the Cats came back in that fourth quarter, and we always knew the Cats were on 11 at halftime. We probably knew that they'll come out scoring, being the Premiers. You can just rely on them to do some good things around the games, and they only lost by 11 in the end, but pretty low scoring for both sides. And Brisbane weren't even really playing that good, but disappointing to see from the Cats. And then luckily I checked my tips before, I think it was around 5 p.m. on Saturday after Saturday evening. I tipped the Swans at Optus Stadium. I thought they'd get it done. They did manage to do that. Got it done by 29 points. Led for most of that game, apart from that quick Freo goal. They pretty much dominated the rest of the game. Buddy had a very good game, and I think that's the last time. That should be the last time he plays at Optus Stadium. Don't think Sydney have West Coast at Optus Stadium later on in the season. So at the Adelaide Oval, Collingwood got it done in a very close one. This one was a thriller. Just got it done. Just thought they were probably a bit more reliable because Port Adelaide lost to Carlton, even though that was at Carlton's home at the Adelaide Oval. I was kind of reconsidering my tip in the end to actually tip Port because, out of Collingwood and Port in that game, I thought Port were just a little bit more better, but Collingwood, again, got away with it in a very close one. The Giants, apart from that first half, other from there, they just put their foot on the gas and now go to continue a 6-game winning streak, I'm pretty sure. So, it's looking all good for the Giants. Finally got a win at Manuka, sorry, I keep saying Manuka. Apologies for that. So I think they had a 7 or 8 game losing streak at Monaco Oval. They finally won there. And then a thriller at halftime. I just changed it over because I couldn't watch the Saints game. But, Melbourne just got the victory by 4 points. I think after quarter time, Melbourne pulled away at halftime. Then the Crows sort of came back, and this one ended up being quite a high-scoring game, which wasn't a high-scoring game, and which was very poor from both sides, especially the Saints, I thought. North Melbourne actually didn't play that poor. We just weren't playing our best footy. I tipped the Saints by 24, only won by 8. Our recent win, apart from the North Melbourne one, was West Coast at their home by 8 points. And then we go pull up this performance by 8 points. We probably should have won that game by more if you go back and look at all the scoring shots we had. But, credit to North Melbourne. At halftime, they led by 12. Apart from that first quarter, it was pretty much North dominating. Then the last quarter where we trailed at quarter time, just like the Eagles game, we came back and won. So, look, I wasn't too disappointed. But, if it's going under 70 points but still getting the win against North Melbourne, we have to be the worst top 6 side I've ever seen in recent memory. But we got the win there. Probably should have won that game by more in the end. But let's get to the tips. Friday night, MCG, we have Collingwood taking on Carlton. Now, this one I believe will be a very good game. If you looked at this and you compared it probably about a couple of months ago, you'd easily tip Collingwood here. But there's just something in me that I think that I actually think that Carlton can get it done here, and you'll be pretty brave to tip Carlton in this one, but the odds are going with Collingwood here. That probably does make sense. They are, it's their flag to lose this year, Collingwood, but I certainly see Carlton sticking around. You know what? I'll go with the Pies here to get a win. But I'll go with the Pies to get a 3-point win. I think this one should be a very good one. But Blues just fall too short against Collingwood yet again at the MCG. But I think Collingwood just a better side. But Carlton have been very impressive. Bet West Coast by 71 points, I believe. So yeah, I'll just go with Collingwood to get the win by 3 points. Then at GMHBA Stadium, we have Geelong taking on the Dockers, and I'm surprised that the odds are $8 for the Dockers, but they are just having a very poor year, Freo. They've got 4 losses in a row now. There's really nothing to say, but they are failing their expectations. Easy tip, Geelong here should get a win. Geelong, yes, they were disappointing at the Gabba, but I think they'll give a response. It was at the Gabba that game, and yes, while they only scored 1 goal and a half, they probably could have at least kicked a couple more goals if they just had hit those set shots a bit better. But yeah, they failed to deliver their opportunities last week, Geelong, so that only led them to ending up to lose by 11 and in low-scoring game. And Freo, on the other hand, with their scoring, it wasn't atrocious, but, the Swans, they kicked 38 and a quarter against them. Freo just very disappointing this year. Yeah, it's going to even hurt more when Sean Darcy leaves, maybe, possibly. There's a rumour going around he might leave to Geelong, but I'll go with the Cats here. They should get the win. And I'll go with the Cats to get a win by 36 points. I think Freo can stick around for a bit, but yeah, you'd be stupid not to tip Geelong in this one, I'm pretty sure. Then at Mars Stadium, we have the Dogs taking on the Giants here. This one could be a very good game because the Dogs thrashed the Crows up at Mars Stadium, but then they lost to them last year. And, just at these venues, you never know what the Giants can pull out here. And because the Giants have been so impressive, I'm going to go tip them, even though this game is in Ballarat, and the Dogs probably should get the win. The odds are going with the Dogs. I'm going to be a bit brave, or it's not brave. Maybe go Giants in what you could call an upset. Their month of footy has just been a bit better than the Dogs, even though the Dogs got the win against the Bombers. In that first quarter they were a bit poor, but I'm going with the Giants here. I feel like, though, they're probably due for a loss if you do look at the stats, but they are just they're never gonna. They just haven't failed this past month, this past month. Sorry. And yeah, they're probably in form wise, they're probably about in the top 4, I'd say, for the Giants. So yeah, I'll go with the Giants to just pull off a close win by 7 points at Mars Stadium. Then at Heritage Bank Stadium, or Metricon as I'd like to say, we have Gold Coast taking on the Lions in the Q Clash. This one being at Heritage Bank Stadium, you never know what could go on here. The Suns, well, they didn't even play that good against my Saints. It's just that the Saints pulled up very rubbish performance like we have these past month. Again, we're probably the worst bottom 6 side, but top 6 side, sorry. But yeah, we're not here to talk about my Saints who aren't playing that good. We're here to talk about the Suns. And yeah, it was disappointing to see from the Suns after getting a win against my Saints. They just failed to deliver. And yeah, the Giants just snagged the win there. Well, they didn't snag the win. They ended up winning by about 47. I can't remember the actual margin. And Brisbane, on the other hand, were very sloppy against Geelong, even though they got the win, to beat Geelong, it is always a tough task no matter where they sit on the ladder. And yeah, they pulled a win at home. I'll go with the Lions. This thing is probably the more safer tip here. They should get the win. And I'll go with the Lions because it's at Heritage Bank. I'll go with the Lions to get the win by 35 points. I don't think this one will be an exact blowout like it was in the last Q Clash like it always is. I think the Suns, will challenge them. And Touk Miller, when he came back against the Saints, and he played a pretty good brand of footy yesterday against the Giants. So, yeah, I think he'll be very good in this game. But, yeah, the Lions should get the win by 35 points. Then at Marvel Stadium, we have the Bombers taking on the Swans here. Now, this one could go down very heavily. We don't know which side could win. I'm actually going to go tip the Swans here. I think, their last month of footy has been very good. And if the Bombers drop this, I don't think they'll make finals. Instead, Sydney could be pushing for finals. I think they're in the finals race now. They're considered, technically, are in the finals race. So they shouldn't. I don't know. It's at Bombers' home, so it's not like I should say they should get the win. But I'm going to go Sydney. I'm going to go Sydney here to get a win by I'll go the Sydney to get a win by 15. I think this one should be a very good game. And Buddy, the fact that he's playing his last few games of the season, if the Swans make finals or not, I think he's really gonna be stepping up, Buddy, and leading the team. I think, even though he's not the captain, I just think that, these last venues that he plays at, he'll want to make these games to remember. So I'll go with Buddy Franklin to kick 3 or more goals in this game. I'll do a big call. And, I think the Swans will get the win. And I'll go the Swans by 15. Then Saturday night, showdown. Adelaide taking on Port Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval. This one should be a cracking game, but I'll go with... Oh, this one's hard because both sides were very close, just fell too short. Port obviously falling short to Collingwood, and Adelaide just falling too short to Melbourne. Oh, this is going to be tough, but I'll go with the power just based off of back at home. I think, Adelaide do play very good footy. They lost to the Giants at home, and which now that seems, not too bad, but I just think the Power they've got 2 losses in a row after coming off a 13-game winning streak. I think they'll be coming out to this game firing. The fact that they got devastated by Collingwood, Collingwood ran away with that one, and Adelaide were very impressive, came back in the second half to only fall short to Melbourne by 4 points. So, yeah, this one should be a good one, but I'll go with the Power to get the win here. I'll go with the Power to get the win. I'll go with them to get the win by 13 points in what should be a very good showdown to watch. Then at Marvel Stadium, I don't know how many people are going to be tuning into this game, but it's my Saints taking on the Hawks, and look, I don't even know if I should tip us. You know what, stuff it, I'm going with the Hawks, because the way we played against North Melbourne, yes, we got the win. We should have got the win by more. I'm not trying to be biased, but yeah, with the amount of scoring shots we had, I think we had at least 20 scoring shots to North Melbourne 15, so we had around 5 to 6 more scoring shots than them. But, we actually were favoured by the umpire a lot. There were some calls in there that I thought, wow, they're actually favouring us quite softly there. So, yeah, I thought that there were a few unnecessary free kicks to North Melbourne and St Kilda in that game. The Hawks, on the other hand, playing a bit more. They've played way more impressive footy than we have. They took it up to Richmond, only lost by a point, just fell too short. I'm going with the Hawks here to get the win because we just can't score at the moment. I'm going with the Hawks to get the win, and I'll go the Hawks to get the win, yeah. They should get it done. Well, they shouldn't. I hope I'm really wrong, though. I really do. I'll go with the Hawks to get the win by 10 points, and my big call is that the Saints score under 70 points yet again, and we only kick 9 goals. Then at the MCG, we have Richmond taking on the D's. This one, I believe, will be a very good game, cracking game. Melbourne just holding on against Adelaide after they let Adelaide come back a bit, and Richmond just holding on against Hawthorn after they came back against the Hawks. I'm actually going to go with the Tigers here to get a little bit of an upset when you might say. I think they have been very impressive, to come back against, yes, it was the bottom 4 side, the Hawks, but they did a pretty good job. I think they kicked 6 in a row. I could be wrong on that. But I've got with the Tigers to get the win here by 2 points. I don't know if they will. This might be considered as an upset. Probably will be. I'll go with the Tigers to get the win. Then, to finish the round off in a very boring game, the Eagles taking on the Roos at Optus Stadium. Now, considering this being at Optus, I can actually see the Eagles winning this game, but just with the way that North Melbourne played my Saints, and we weren't even playing that good. I know it was at home, but I'll go with the Roos to get the win here. I think this one should be a cracking contest. The Roos, just falling short against my Saints will want to win now. They've got 16 losses in a row, or maybe it's 15. So they definitely want to win this game. The Eagles, on the other hand, well, they're not really any better. However, they played Carlton, and, I give a bit of respect to the Eagles because I thought, I probably shouldn't have tipped them by that much. They actually only they lost to Carlton by 70 points. So I'll go with North Melbourne to get the win. They probably should get the win, even though it is at Optus, and I'll go with North to get their 3rd win of the season here. I'll go with North to get the win by 7 points. Anyways, that's going to wrap up this video. If you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe. And, I'll see you guys in the next one.